pull ourselves back from the brick every time. We are a resilient people.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja.
The time is 4 o'clock. Welcome to Citizen FM News from across the states. I am Didi Eno. President Muhammadu Buhari has declared that the off-season election in Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun states have confirmed his administration's irreversible commitment to credible and violence-free polls in the country. The president stated this when he received a delegation from Nasarawa State today in Abuja, and he said the high-power delegation led by the state governor, Abdullahi Sule, that the Electoral Act signed by him earlier this year was an attestation of the fulfillment of the administration's determination and commitment to the tenets of the rule of law. President Buhari said his desire for the nation is that the 2023 elections should clearly mark the commencement of the institutional strength of electoral body in conducting acceptable, credible, and violence-free elections. President Buhari also used the occasion to stress the need for partnerships among the three tiers of government in order to deliver good governance, infrastructure, and critical services needed by the people. He pledged commitment to the joint efforts by the state and federal governments to facilitate easy transportation by road, railways, and airports, as well as power, as no nation can develop without these components of infrastructure. Lagos State government has called on market leaders to adhere to hygiene and observe sanitary practices, as well as efforts to achieve food safety and prevent diseases. The Permanent Secretary, Office of Environmental Services, Omobolaji Gaji, made the call during his visit and address at a sensitization program for market leaders held at the Ifako Ejaya local government area. Omobolaji Gaji, who was represented by Deputy Director Sanitation Omoyemi Balogun, noted that unhygienic practices such as blocking of drains and open defecation pose threats to lives and to property. He said in the market, there are social behaviors that impact the aesthetics of the environment, which include improper display and storage of foods and food safety, and the indiscriminate dumping of refuse, and the emerging epidemic and pandemic threats that confront humanity have no links to markets. He said, in sanitary behaviors, open defecation, littering and blocking the drainage system and more deface markets and are threats to lives and to property, directly or indirectly. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has signed the revised budget of 170 billion naira into law. Soludo said the budget christened Building of from the Blocks fell short of 250 billion naira, estimated as the amount required in building critical infrastructure in the state. Christian Aborime, Press Secretary to Soludo, who discloses in a statement today, said the governor commended the Anambra lawmakers for being diligent, responsible, and responsive. While commending the speedy passage of the budget, the governor called for stronger synergy between the legislature and other arms of government. Governor Soludo, who said, though the resources at government's disposal were abysmally lean and earnings from the oil sector were so low, also said his administration would bridge the deficit through multiple strategies, including cutting down on expenditure and prudent procurement process. At least 30 people have been killed in a road accident along the Zaria-Kano highway in Kaduna State. The road crash, which was recorded and reported earlier today, were involved two 18-seater buses and a small car, and it occurred at Hawangmai Mashi community at Makarfi local government area of Kaduna State. Reports say the accident was caused by a speed violation, which led to a collision of the three vehicles, and after which flames erupted. Most of the passengers who were trapped inside the vehicle got burned severely, leading to their deaths. Witnesses say the victims have no way to escape from the vehicles and were trapped therein. Assistant Corps Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps Zaria Zone, Abdul Rahman Husseini, said the accident was caused by dangerous overtaking by one of the vehicles, and he disclosed that some injured passengers were rushed to the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital for urgent medical treatment, while the remains of those that died were evacuated and deposited at the hospital mortuary. Zamfara State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress has recorded a major setback following the defection of 3 strong members of the party, with thousands of their supporters to the opposition People's Democratic Party. The 3 members of the party are Salihu Maibuhu, Rabiu Ilili, and Abubakar Bargaja, who were supporters of former Governor Abdulaziz Yari. They have announced their defection to the opposition People's Democratic Party with thousands of their supporters, a situation that has dented the reconciliation process between Governor Bello Matawalle and Yari. Speaking to newsmen, one of the defectors, Salihu Maibuhu, said they were not interested in the reconciliation process between Matawalle and Yari, and as such, they decided to join the PDP. In his reaction, the spokesperson for the state chapter of Zamfara APC, Yusuf Idris, said the party was never moved by the defection to PDP, even though they did not officially announce their defection. And he also added that they are happy that the ruling party has continued to receive and welcome more defectors in the state and keeping it ahead of other political parties. The Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission in Oyo State, Eyitayo Oyetunji, says the enumeration of persons for the trial census is underway in the state. Eyitayo Oyetunji said the trial census was a major pre-census activity for the 2023 population and housing census, which was flagged off 2 weeks ago. He said training of functionaries was carried out throughout the Federation for 12 days from June 27 to July 8. Thereafter, functionaries were deployed to the selected enumeration areas in the 9 designated local government areas to commence building, numbering, and household listing. He said building, numbering, and household listing was completed successfully in Oyo State without hitches or untoward incident. And he also acknowledged and appreciated the success and cooperation of the communities where the exercise took place, and also thanked all stakeholders, especially security outfits that were at hand to ensure the safety and protection of functionaries. Eyitayo Oyetunji added that actual enumeration of persons for the trial census is commencing nationwide fully in 1 local government areas in 6 states. And as part of efforts to decongest the custodial centers, the Ekiti State Chief Judge, Justice John Adeyeye, has set 34 awaiting trial inmates free and cautioned them that punishment awaited any of them or anyone that committed crime. 3 among them were released on bail, 22 were released unconditionally, and 9 others were released based on the advice of the Director of Public Prosecution that they had no case to answer. Justice John Adeyeye advised the released inmates to go and sin no more, adding that the long hand of the law is waiting anyone found causing public unrest in the state that were among the 508 cases reviewed during the visit of the CJ to the Nigerian Correctional Center, Ado Ekiti. Justice John Adeyeye, however, encouraged the DPP, the police, and other stakeholders in the criminal justice administration that timely arraignment and assemblage of witnesses in court would help in decongesting the prisons. The CJ urged the magistrates, the police, and other stakeholders to be abreast of new laws of the land and to stop use of archaic law languages. Cross River State government has banned the hawking of corn and various wares on major highways in Calabar. The ban was contained in a statement signed by Tony Adenye, Chairman, Cross River Pollution Control Agency. The chairman said the agency noticed with displeasure the unwholesome activities of hawkers of various wares, especially corn sellers, along the Murtala Mohammed Highway and major streets in the Calabar metropolis. He said in a bid to urgently sanitize the metropolis of every form of environmental pollution and bring decency to the aesthetics of the state, hawkers and corn sellers had been instructed to relocate to interior streets on or before August 1. And he also warned that failure to comply would be met with arrest and severe sanctions. And that was Citizen FM news from across the state as compiled by Uchechi Nlemowa. To listen to us online, please visit citizenfm.ng. I am Didi Eno. To stay with us.
Citizen FM Abuja.